Harley Quinn is one of DC's most popular femme fatales, coming out of the wildly iconic Batman the Animated Series as Joker's obsessive girlfriend. Watching Batman as a kid, Harley always stood out in every scene she was in, with her striking costume, quick wit, and a voice as grating as it is adorable.
Taylor just plugs when I give him! No, I'm keeping it for myself. Maybe.
Harley became so popular she was officially added to the DC Universe canon during the No Man's Land event, where Gotham City is quarantined by the government after a cataclysmic earthquake. Originally, Harley was set up as a comedic partner and lover for the Joker, despite most of the time being used like a tool by him. During DC's New 52 reboot, Harley was reworked as her own character, separate from the Joker. At the beginning of the New 52, in Detective Comics number 1, Joker is presumed dead after his face is cut off by the Dollmaker. In her grief over the disappearance of the Joker, Harley goes on a killing spree and is arrested by Black Canary. Amanda Waller then forcibly recruits Harley into her Suicide Squad, which, true to the name, is a squad of expendable C-list villains and OCs. After a hiccup or two, Harley settles into the squad, only for the Joker to show up, now a total lunatic wearing his stapled-on face skin like a mask. He convinces Harley to act as a decoy to lure Batman into a trap. Harley tells Batman, "He's changed. He's not my Mr. J anymore." From there, Harley continues her missions with the Suicide Squad, but also gets her own solo series where she plays roller derby, fights zombies, and befriends a genie, among other things. Doesn't make much sense to me either. A few issues into the solo series, she meets up with the Joker again, and seems to genuinely hate him. She insults him and the two get into a bloody brawl. Reading this for the first time, I felt confused. How did we get from the Joker's abused pawn to this fearless fighter? The sudden heel turn seems to happen spontaneously, like there's a whole story in between I missed out on. My belief is that this change was brought about because Harley Quinn became an explosively popular character since her debut, but how long can you really write stories about a woman getting slapped around by her crazed boyfriend? It made Harley unfit for a standalone role, and made Joker extremely problematic as a character. But the fact that he's a crazed murderer should be more alarming, but that's a whole different discussion. So it was necessary to change Harley's character, starting with her origin. In the original backstory by creator Paul Dini, Harley screws her way into a psychology degree and aims to exploit the famous Arkham Asylum inmates for fame, until the Joker exploits her for the pun on her name. Her new origin casts her as the overachieving genius in a bad family life, who goes undercover in Arkham as an inmate only to get seduced by the Joker. This origin was likely made to give Harley more agency in her life and paint her in a more sympathetic light. She also shedded her iconic Harlequin outfit and replaced it with about a dozen different looking suits. My biggest problem with most of these is that they don't really look like costumes at all, just regular clothes or stuff that you would wear when you're going clubbing or something. And none of them really match up to the sleek design of her old outfit. This is likely an attempt to distance Harley from the Joker by removing her clown girl motif. The result of removing Joker from the equation and changing Harley's design is that she ends up being very different from her famous characterization. And that's the point of all these changes, to be different, but there isn't any defining theme or motivation to fill the void. Like I said earlier, Harley's adventures in her solo series are pretty random. She runs for mayor, helps a stereotypical Jewish cyborg, and teams with Power Girl for a while. It seems like the writers are just throwing ideas at the wall and hoping some stuff sticks. That's not to say these stories are bad, they're pretty entertaining. My favorite is the one where an alien comes to Earth disguised as a cow, is turned into hot dogs, and everyone turns into zombies when they're eaten. But it all seems random. I think the biggest reason for why this version of Harley feels so off is that there's no tangible narrative connection between the Joker-obsessed Harley and the new independent Harley. Harley has become a new character, but where's the character arc that brought her here? I think DC has missed a big opportunity to talk about domestic abuse and overcoming abusive relationships in a way that could reach the wider public. In 1994, Paul Dini, Harley Quinn's creator, wrote the single-issue story Mad Love, which highlighted the Joker's abusive behavior and Harley's delusion and denial. Mad Love won an Eisner Award for Best Single Story and was later adapted into an episode of The New Batman Adventures. With allegations of abuse coming to light now, This is the perfect time for a story about abuse. Harley could be used for a story showing how she overcame her obsession with the Joker and moved on from their relationship. Right now, Harley's character progression seems totally unrealistic and empty. The most confusing part is her solo series might be completely non-canon, considering being on the Suicide Squad would mean that she's not allowed to live a normal civilian life. So the Suicide Squad version seems to be the truest version, and the movie version where Joker and Harley's relationship is changed to not show any signs of abuse is one of the most popular versions out right now. All of this makes it really difficult to tell which Harley is the intended canonical version. This might all be done on purpose just to gauge the popularity of each different reworked version of the character. But I mostly think there are fans who like Harley for many different reasons, so DC is trying to put out different versions of the character to appeal to everyone. The problem is, when there's all these different character versions, it's hard to tell who Harley really is as a character. Considering Harley's recent boom in popularity, it's clear she'll be in the limelight for a while. She has 2 running comic series, recently got her own animated film, she's in Injustice 2, and there's a Joker and Harley movie coming out alongside with a second Suicide Squad movie for some reason. But all of these Harleys are very different from each other to the point where it's hard to tell what kind of character Harley is. And if DC really wants Harley to be a character that can stand on her own successfully, they need to figure out what Harley's new motivations and desires are, otherwise she'll end up a jumbled, aimless mess. And when that happens, the character eventually just fades away into the background as nothing more than a costume.